stupid. My video card keeps disconnecting. It's an external graphics card, and I'm hoping it's not the video card. I'm hoping it's the cable, because I can replace the cable. I haven't. I need to, but I got to go order a $25 cable. It's a. It's just annoying me because it happens like twice a day. This happens at least twice a day, where it just disconnects. It's gotten to that point where it's where it's twice a day anyway. It was doing it like once a day. It kind of depends on how long I'm streaming. The longer I stream, the more likely it's going to happen while I'm streaming. Earlier, when I streamed this morning, it did it right when I ended my stream. I was saying, I need to sign off now. I got to go do my DoorDash. And all of a sudden it disconnected. So there was one person watching at the time who probably goes, that was an abrupt ending. But what's happening is my video card disconnects and OBS gets an encoder error as a result of that. And it just crashes. So I have to unplug, replug in my video card, and then I have to go to Task Manager, kill OBS, which leaves part of it hanging. Then I have to start OBS and restart the stream. But it's getting, obviously that's very annoying, and it has very abrupt endings to streams. So I'm like, I gotta get this fixed. I don't know. I gotta order the stupid the cable. I'm praying it's the cable. What I've got going right now is I ordered the cable I'm using is one of those more expensive high-end video feed cables that you have to run to actually use an external graphics card. And but it has an extension because my 6.6 foot cable stops like 3 feet short or 2 feet short of my computer. So I needed to buy like a 3-foot extension, and it's plugged into that cable. And this is because I have cord control. If I was to just run a cable straight to my box, it would work. Problem is, I use my monitor when I'm doing other things, like if I'm painting or playing my Frosthaven games, and therefore it has to run all the way through the station, even though it doesn't plug into the docking station, but it needs to run that same route, so that when I take the computer and move it, it takes the cable moves with it. If I took a shortcut to the card, to the video card, it would get rid of the extension, which might be what's causing my problem, but I would no longer have mobility in my computer. It would stop short because it would no longer feed the same path as the docking station. So I need a longer cable, is basically what it comes down to, so I can run that same path and keep things clean on my desk as much as possible because of the cord control. I put those thick multi-cord cord control things over, and basically it's just this nylon wrapper that turns 5 cords into one thick, much less obtrusive looking thing, messy looking thing. But it's happening all the time now, so I'm wondering if my cable's failing. I'm praying that my cable's failing because I can fix a cable cheap. If it's something more serious, please don't be anything serious. Like my video card is fritzing out, I could have a problem. Because I have, a decent video card, and it's what's making it possible for me to have multiple monitors and stuff going. And, it's not cheap. How much did I pay for it? I don't know, $400. This is before I got, laid off. Might have been more than that. 500. I don't remember, but it was a lot. And obviously I get the same one. It might be a little cheaper now because it's been almost a year, and now they have a newer version. Are we up to 5,000 yet on? Are we the 5,000 generation NVIDIAs? I know we were at 4,000 when I bought this. I bought a 3080 Ti, and we were up into the 4000s. But I don't know that we had a... I don't know if the 5s exist yet. I feel like they do. But anyway, so all my other stuff didn't crash. Just OBS crashes when that happens, but it also cuts off my video card, or my my other monitors, and yeah, it's a big stupid mess. All right, let's go. Yeah, I'm back. Like I said, I was just explaining what happens. My video, if I get cut off, if I disappear without an official goodbye, know that I'll be back within a minute or two. Because what's happening is my external graphics card is disconnecting. And I'm hoping it's a cable, the cable that connects my Surface Pro to my external graphics card box. Because if it's a cable, that's a $20 replacement. Because you have to buy a high throughput USB-C cable, which is, they cost a lot more than your typical USB-C cables. And so I could probably buy one of those, but I haven't because I'm being cheap. And I'm afraid. What's happening right now, though, is I actually have a 6-foot cable going here that comes up 2 feet short of my computer. So I have another high-end extension cable on it that's about 3 feet long, and I plug that in, and that's how it works. And it's been working like that for over a year. But I'm hoping one of those cables is failing, and then I can easily just replace the cable, and we'll be fine. I say easily. It's a pain. It's a little bit of a pain, but it's not a big deal. What I could do is take the extension off and see if that's the case. But either way, it results in a disconnect when that happens. My OBS crashes because the NVEC encoder, because my video card disconnects, the encoder that it's using fails. And so OBS blows up, and then I have to shut it down. Yeah, my Surface Pro is, well, they're up to 11 now, and I'm using an 8. But I have like the highest end Surface Pro 8, and I'm using the external graphics card. OBS is fine when, my graphics card isn't disconnecting, because, it's feeding off the NVENC encoder, which only works with the graphics card. So if the graphics card disconnects, OBS explodes, because it's like, NVENC encoder went out, blah. And the stream ends. So if you see me end, like I said, it's because that, and I'll probably be back in a couple of minutes. Even if I'm about to sign off, I generally will sign back on just to let people know I'm what happened. Send you my guy? No, what I need to do is replace the cable on my video card. I'm really thinking that's it. You know how these USB-C cables are. They start to wear out. And the fact that I'm using an extension probably doesn't help. So I'm thinking somewhere along the line it broke down. So I'm going to buy like a longer one. You don't want to get too long with those, but I think I saw one that was 10 feet, and people were saying it's getting really good reviews. But it costs like $30 because these high throughput USB-C cables are expensive. They're not like your little USBs that you use to charge things or whatever. This has to be a video capable high-end USB-C cable, and they usually run $20 to $30. Well, my Surface Pro definitely is new enough. It's actually using a Thunderbolt port, which annoyingly enough, their new Surface Pro 11, they don't use the Thunderbolt ports anymore. In fact, what I've heard is the Surface Pro 11, they switched over to the ARM processors instead of the Intel processors, and they won't run a lot of the same stuff because they're basically turned it into a tablet, because that's what an ARM processor is, right? You're not going to use an ARM processor on a desktop ever, or on a typical laptop. You might use it on like a Chromebook or something, but you won't use it on a true laptop. Those are Intel or AMD only. And if you're using an ARM processor, you've committed to the fact that now your tablet is your Surface Pro, which was known for being a high-end PC replacement tablet, is now just a high-end, potentially PC replacement tablet, because it's really just a tablet with very good specs. And I don't know why they did that. I mean, I guess because it runs cooler or whatever. I don't know, but still, it's dumb. They basically downgraded their latest versions of the Surface Pro. Yeah, I upgraded. This is actually my second Surface Pro. I had a Surface Pro 4, which would probably be about the one you had, but I always try to buy the absolute highest version. So I got like the terabyte SSD and the 32 gigabytes of memory, and I try to get the highest one, and then I buy like every 4 or 5 years. Yeah, see, my wife had a 3, but she had a normal one because she doesn't need that kind of power. And then I had a 4, and I used it for like 4 years. It was great. In fact, I still have it. It's down here. In fact, I have hers right here too. And the 4 is still pretty good. I actually managed to get the Windows 11 on it before I upgraded. But obviously getting an 8 was awesome. And it was a huge upgrade, and I could run some games on it and it worked pretty good. Now 11, you can't really run games on it. And I'm not even sure if my external graphics card will run on an ARM processor, because it's an ARM processor. So I don't know what I'm going to do when it's finally time to upgrade again. Man, I love the Surface Pro. I would love to get the latest one, but I'm thinking it might not work for me anymore. And I don't know what I'd replace it with, because I really like the tablet. So I'd have to maybe just get a small laptop that's really good. I don't know. People like the Surface Pro. In fact, people say the Surface Pro 11 is really good for what it does, but it's now limited because they're using an ARM processor. Like I said, I just think that's such a backwards move. And I can get it because they're using such a small form factor that maybe it's cooler, it's more efficient. I didn't buy the Surface Pro because it's more efficient. I bought it because it was small and it was super powerful. That's why I bought it. I don't care if it's efficient. If I want an efficient, clean tablet, I'll go buy a Galaxy tablet or a Chromebook or something like that. I mean, or I'll never buy a Mac, so that's the whole nother issue. But yeah, I don't buy it because it's efficient. I just make a good tablet that makes a really tiny. Basically, it's a really tiny laptop, right? Really small, super fast, good, powerful a laptop. But not anymore. Not with an ARM processor in it. It isn't. I mean, I wasn't too concerned about the drop in graphics capability of the 11 because the power is really good. But the fact that it's an ARM processor means it might not work with my external graphics card. I don't even know if I can plug in that and make it work, because I don't know if it's smart enough. Plus, some games and things won't even run on an ARM processor because they're not designed to. So yeah, I don't. That's that. So right now, I'm just gonna have to keep using my 8 until it either they fix that problem. I'm not gonna be buying the 11 anytime soon anyway. So I'll give them a couple more iterations before I even consider upgrading, assuming of course I get a job or I get money. Yeah. My dad was using Galaxy phones for a long time, like me. I use Galaxy phones, and I think they're fantastic. But a lot of my family, his brothers and sisters, were using iPods, iPhones, all that. They were fully up in the iPhone business, and they finally talked him and my stepmother to convert, and now they're all Apple. I'm like, the fact is, Apple's falling behind in phones. Galaxy phones are actually more efficient, they're faster, they're powerful, they're outselling they're outselling the iPhone, but people keep drinking the Kool-Aid. So I don't know. And then once they get on, the thing is, Apple, once they get you, you start getting caught up in their ecosystem, and there's no getting out unless you're just willing to dive headfirst into something you're no longer part of. Because there's a lot of the Apple ecosystem is not compatible with other devices. They just know how to sell their product, convince you that it's more than it is. Although, the evidence does not shore up what they say, but that don't matter. If you can market it, people will buy it. If you market it, they shall come. Just like me, I'm trying to market my production of this game. I just said I am not Apple. And my marketing skills are not good. So I launched my Indiegogo today, and I don't think I've gotten a single backer yet. Luckily, I only put a $500 limit, and it's flex. So I got 30 days to at least get, something. I'm thinking, I get it. I just started this project. I have not accomplished much. But, oh, by the way, Elog, before you go, I'm starting tomorrow. All of my streaming, all of my PFFM, my coding streaming and my development streaming is moving to my other streams, or to my other channel, a brand new channel. It's Active Mind Games Dev. So if you want to watch my coding streams, which are mostly what I do during the daytimes, make sure you follow or subscribe there on YouTube. You're on Twitch, so never mind. It might not matter because I'm not actually doing anything for Twitch. Twitch is staying the same. Yeah, it's in my description underneath. But again, you're on Twitch. I forgot about that, so ignore me. If you stay on Twitch, don't worry about it. But if you want to ever watch anything in post, or if you want to see it, it's going to start all being on that channel. It's Active Mind Games Dev. So, yeah, there you go. Have a good one, man. You get some rest, and I'll see you next time. Anyway, as for me, I've got another hour or so here to actually get some more Go done. So I have got my app kind of running. So let's go ahead and run that again. Let's put this back where it belongs, down here. And hopefully hopefully my graphics card can finish this last hour or so of development. Huh. So this is a little bit of a clue that I got a little bit of a problem with my sync. The final hit 0, but my clock did not set to 0. Well, it's YouTube. Again, it's the YouTube channel. Oh yeah, future YouTube streams. It does say that. It does exist. You should be able to find it, but I don't have anything on it yet. I have 2 videos on there. 1 or 2 videos on there, but they're just uploads related to the Indiegogo and stuff. But tomorrow the live will go live. I will be moving, starting tomorrow, I'll start streaming. Tomorrow my streams will start being there, but again on Twitch, don't worry about it. Twitch, I'm not changing the Twitch channel. It's gonna stay the same. I'm not building up multiple Twitch channels. It's too much work. I only do the YouTube ones because YouTube keeps your videos, and I want those to be kind of grouped better. Twitch, after 60 days or whatever, they disappear anyway. So what's it matter? I don't have a lot of. I mean, I guess I do have some Twitch. I have more Twitch followers than I do YouTube followers, I guess. But it's getting close. YouTube's catching up quite a bit, mostly because I get a lot more in post followers on YouTube. So people who look at it after I've done streaming. Anyway, so yeah. You have a good one. Guess we'll say, hey John Doe, how you doing? This is my Twitch. Oh, I'm sorry. You're on YouTube. It's the same user ID. Active Mind Gamer is my Twitch ID. Yeah, it's Active Mind Gamer. Night Elog, you have a good one. Yeah, it's the same, and it isn't going to change on Twitch. Tomorrow it changes for all of the development work. I'll still use this page for all of my fun stuff. I don't want to say fun because this is fun, but for all of my non-development work. And then so I'm just splitting them up, and I'll probably even start moving some videos, but I got to edit them and break them down to cut the chatter out and just kind of put the coding in, or at least edit them down to the parts that matter. So I've kind of got my clock working here, mostly working. But I am noticing that, like, when time runs out, it does say final when time runs out. I'm trying to figure out how to get that last 12 seconds to run off. I've got a timing issue going on that at the end of a game, the last few seconds don't run off the clock. It stops at 12 because I have it running down, but it's running down out of sync. So the game ends while there's still seconds on the clock, the game clock. Kind of weird. I have to figure that out, but it's not what I'm doing right now. I haven't done enough Go today. I've been spending too much time trying to get the game clocks functional. Now that they're functional, it's time for me to move on. So yesterday, you were actually here, I think, I think it was you. While I was working on my Go, trying to get my connections going, and so each day I try to do a little UI. But sometimes that UI eats into my back-end work. So like that's what happened today. I was working on the clock, getting the game clock to synchronize with the play clock. I mean, both of them counting down. They don't really synchronize because the game clock will stop for incomplete passes and turnovers and all that stuff. So it stops periodically. Whereas the play clock always runs 40 seconds between plays. And so there's a little bit of a out of syncness, but they do try to run pretty close to each other, and we try to get a similar amount of time ticking down. But it looks pretty cool, I think. I just need to kind of fix the width of my play clock. There's other stuff, but I don't want to get caught up by that. That's tomorrow. I don't even know if I'm going to worry about that tomorrow. See, there's also the quarter changeover problem. I am seeing quarter changeover issues. So you get that like -1. What is that? -1 0 what the heck is that? I don't even know anywhere that I'm doing anything that comes close to looking like that. It's like it just blows up. But only on quarter changeovers, and then it's fine. It's so weird. I don't want to look at that right now. But I'm so OCD about errors or little annoying visual quirks. I want to fix them. Okay, where was I on this? All right, I got to get back on this. See, this is one of the problems too. You want to stay on a task as much as possible. That's why I want to do both ends as much as possible each day. And I've got to make a better habit of that. All right, so we were trying to resolve this issue, which I did not get resolved. Yesterday. So trying to get the curl. Now when I call this, we have game plan, user ID, we have all the right values in there. We do have everything running still, which is good. I don't even know how that happened. Oh, and again, a quick heads up, if I cut off for some weird reason, I just stop, I'll be back within a couple minutes. My video card has been disconnecting from my tablet, and that kills OBS. So I have to reset my video card, reconnect my video card, and reset OBS, and then I'll come back. Usually only takes a minute or two. But just heads up, it could happen. It could happen again. Usually doesn't happen more than once every few hours, and it just did it. So I'm hoping we'll be good until I'm done for now. Probably another hour. Oh, and I know yesterday I mentioned I'm switching to my new Twitch channel for all programming issues today. I'm all programming videos. It's tomorrow, because apparently there's a 24-hour wait when you try to activate your first video. So I tried to do that today, and it goes, oh, you need to first do this. And now it says 24 hours, you can start streaming. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I guess tomorrow. I'm doing it tomorrow. So yeah, so you got today, and then tomorrow I'm switching to the new channel for YouTube only. I have it in my chat there if you want to scroll up, because I don't have that many chats, or you can just pull it from my description underneath my video, Active Mind Games Dev on YouTube. Follow me there, and you should get whatever notices that say whenever I'm streaming, if you want to follow that one. So, and you can continue following here, because this is where I'll do my other non-development stuff. So a lot of times my lunchtime or nighttime or weekend stuff where I'm doing something that's not programming or developing something. And not all my development work is video games either. Some of it, I mean, I do develop other apps occasionally. I'm not anymore, because this is my full-time thing until God tells me I need to go actually start a new job. In other words, one of these many people I keep applying to finally calls me and goes, yep, we want to hire you. and then I'm off and running. Or somebody stumbles across my Indiegogo who's got money burning holes in their pockets, and they want to help me out. But until those two things happen, or I win the lotto, so those three things, I'm going to always be on the cusp of maybe having to stop programming on this game. All right, so let's and I figure early on, any campaigns I launch on Indiegogo are going to do really bad, because I'm not marketing them at all, other than to talk about them on my stream, which is, 50 people who might even see that. And unless the word gets passed around, and even then, early on, nobody's interested in backing something that's at this stage. I mean, I'd barely be interested unless I knew the person. So I'm like, if I like 6 months from now, if I'm still going strong and the app's getting better and cooler and more features are starting to appear, somebody, my campaigns at that point might be going, maybe this guy's actually going to get somewhere with this, and they might start backing me. So that's kind of what I'm really doing this. I just want to start having these regular update campaigns to maybe start building some momentum with people following it and wanting to see if I'm making progress. And then maybe later campaigns will start picking up some steam. And so I got to keep plugging away on that. So let's go ahead, start a new chat for this new task, and we're going to go over here. We're going to go here. Try this again. Basically, I'm asking the same things I asked yesterday because I'm hoping for. I'm going with the definition of insanity. Slightly asking the same question over and over again, expecting a different response. Pretty sure that's not actually it. I think it's doing the same thing over and over again. Tomato, tomato. Like Go application. Microservices application is using a gateway, a gRPC gateway, and this item is failing. Problem is, I feel like I'm starting over, but I'm not sure what the game situation, API game situation. Do I have this? Cannot unmarshal object into Go value of type. So unmarshaling it essentially means reading it. It's reading it into the game situation, but why is this a problem? So if I were to actually go read my game situation, and my game situation is simply this, all right, so we're going to get in this issue. This item is failing. All right. The game situation it is referring to is set up in my .proto file and has already been built into pb.go and grpc.bb.go. As should be an array defined by in the profile. However, the payload you sent via curl might not be properly formatted. Analysis: the repeated keyword in protobuf maps to a slice. Yeah, we know that. The JSON encoder expects the corresponding JSON property to be an array, but it seems that the game situation's field in the payload is being interpreted incorrectly. Here's a relevant portion of your JSON payload. Yes. The JSON appears correct for the repeated structure. However, there are potential issues to check. Yes, I know, because I talked to your younger brother last night. This was ChatGPT 3.0 who took over while you went out to dinner with your lady friend, lady API, or lady AI, and I wasn't able to use you for about 3 hours. So I had to use your younger brother 3.0, and he wasn't able to solve this. Yes, I'm scolding ChatGPT for going out to dinner. Which, by the way, he's probably going to go out to dinner again shortly because I've been using him a lot today. The JSON appears correct for the repeated structure. Field name mismatch. In protobuf, field names are case sensitive during JSON unmarshalling. However, the protobuf JSON marshaller and unmarshaller may require the field names to exactly match. E.g., game situations instead of game situation. Wait, is one of these not the same? Solution: convert the JSON payload's field names to match the protobuf JSON format. Okay, where do I not match? But it does match. Game situations, game capital S, game capital S. See, it's like making up problems. It says, e.g., game situations instead of game situations, but I am exactly the same. Capital G, capital S, capital G, capital S, capital G, capital S. I don't know, man. Now, all of these stuff are capitals. All of these things are capitals. So I don't have any field differentiation. All of my main item calls are also capital, 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 capital. If you're using a gRPC gateway, ensure that it properly translates JSON to protobuf. Verify that the gateway service is handling this endpoint correctly. Well, why wouldn't it be? Proto to Go conversion issue. Double check the generated PV-Go file to ensure the field types match the intended structure. Debugging steps. Print logs in your gRPC service where the unmarshalling occurs to inspect the received JSON payload. Okay, I can do that. Use a simpler JSON payload for testing. Could do that too. Guess I never really thought about just sending in a dumber payload. You know, all right, so we're in here, so it's this one. It is possible. Aha, look at that. Wait, create a dummy situation. Is it possible the error could be related to something in this gRPC underscore handler.go, which is supposedly handling a payload. Yes, analyzing the PV that analyzes the relevant parts and how they interact with the payload. Potential issues. Logging mistake. Oh, stop asking me about the logging mistake. I don't care about that. You already told that doesn't matter. And so, okay, so this correction is actually a decent correction, though. It actually uses printf, because before it was telling me how to correct the line, it would say replace this or replace this with this, And it says this is a printf issue, but it says it won't cause that problem. The get game plan method processes a get game plan request message, but your curl command is sending a payload for a game plan. There are two different message types. Message get game plan request, game plan, message game plan. Since the handler is expecting a get game plan request, sending a game plan payload will fail because the structure doesn't match. You need to ensure that your client is invoking the correct gRPC method with the correct payload. Wait, what? The get game plan method does not handle post requests with a game plan payload. If you're using gRPC gateway, the post request should map to an RPC method that accepts a game plan or similar message, but this method only expects a get game plan request. Check the mapping in your gRPC gateway. Ensure the HTTP request is properly mapped to the corresponding gRPC. If the HTTP method and body mapping are incorrect, it will lead to unmarshalling errors. Validate the payload. Ensure the JSON payload matches the expected message type. In your case, curl is sending a game plan message, but the get game plan method expects a game plan request. Oh. Implement a method for handling game plan payloads. If you need to handle game plan payloads, creating or updating game plans, add a new RPC method in your .proto file. Wait a minute, I thought I had a create game plan. Then implement the corresponding handler in gRPC handler. Oh, wait. Here's game plan request. Get game plan. Get game plan request. So game plan service. What do I mean that go doing here? This doesn't do anything except handle this stuff. So if I go, where is my OneNote here? Oh, that's not what I want to see. Something went funky. Yeah, I know. So you say. Okay, none of this is my note. Where did my notes go? It's like all these notes, none of them work. It's really annoying because I love this sticky notes app. It's really a cool app, but it doesn't sync anywhere. I don't know where this stuff is going. It's supposed to be syncing into OneNote, but I'm like, nope, not there. That's what all these testings for. They were trying to find where this was going, and it won't show up. But it's really a cool app when it was syncing. It used to sync across like all of my devices, even at my work where they didn't allow you to have outside syncing, so I could actually send myself messages through the sticky notes because that was the one thing that would work. But now that don't work at all. Now it don't sync to anything. I can't. Nothing I put in there appears anywhere else but right there. Even on my network here, I couldn't get it to sync across to my other devices. It was a mess. All right, so somewhere I had a note that was, oh, there it is. Okay, I don't know why I couldn't get to that. I am creating this little football simulator you're looking at the bottom here. This is the app, but it's going to be a lot more than this. This is just its current state of being. I've got a little work to do on my clocks and how they synchronize, but those are my most recent features, was adding in the game clocks. But I've got to eventually add in coaching profiles and add in a player functionality, and I've got to switch over to my mobile devices, which is going to do all of the cool mobile device graphics stuff. I got to get the back end working, which is right now what I'm doing. I'm trying to get the gRPC calls functioning. I've obviously got something out of whack on my gRPC Go calls. I mean, I've got them up and running, but they're not. I'm doing something wrong with my my calls to get data back from them. Once I get that, then I can start consuming my calls and start creating the functions that are going to be passing data back to like this React app or to my mobile app or eventually the PC app, but that's way down the line. Because I want to be able to not only have these simulations be fully simulatable, but also be at a time eventually be able to simulate games against other people. That means having all of the game plans and players and stats and all that stuff on the database that can interact with the individuals who can then call their plays and input the plays. So I've got a lot of features and functionality planned for this thing. I am using a lot of different things in my tech stack. In fact, a lot of things that I, until a year ago, didn't even know they existed, and I knew nothing about a lot of them. I knew of React, but React is my web UI. Go is my backend microservices code. MongoDB is going to be my database. My front end is going to be made up of C#. It's going to be Unity, the Unity engine for my front end application. On the front end, I'm also going to be having to put in some kind of probably like a Couchbase or other NoSQL database on the mobile app so that there can be some offline play. I want people to be able to simulate their offline AI games. If they're going up against like the PC's teams, they should be able to do that even when they're not online. So if you go camping, you can pull out your phone and do some games. You might not be able to play against other people if you don't have internet connection, but you can play against AI opposition. Now, this game is not expected to be a Madden killer. Unfortunately, I don't expect to be able to control players. I keep saying that, but I keep wondering if at some point in the future I might add that in. But really what it's going to be built on is it's going to be different from every other app out there. Because obviously, why would I create something that other apps are already doing? But the whole point is that it's going to be able to do a lot of cool... It's going to be a mix of a lot of different games that exist without the free play, or what do you call it, without the microtransaction hell. Or the ceilings and stuff you get hit by with microtransactions. My goal is to be able, yes, there will be microtransactions, but not ones that are going to block your play or block you from being able to enjoy the game without paying. And that's what I want to do. I'm going to create a game that allows you to do all the cool stuff the game has without, making you feel like a lot of, a remorse of FOMO. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of different things. I even have web web features plan for like this React application you see here. I'm going to allow people to have interactions like with chat. That's what I want to do. I want to create some chat functions. So when you see this running, you could type in a command that says something like PFFM sub or something, game sub. I don't know. You can create the command in whatever tool you use to do that. Like in my case, it would be Stream Elements. You create the command. It sends off an HTTP command to the application, and it'll inject your name into the play calls. So it'll say like Metman's ST takes the ball and gets dumped for a loss. Or he ran for 20 yards. I don't know, depending on whatever it does. But it'll inject you in. And then I'm going to have those IDs, those players, saved to the database. So if you came back next time and said sub Metman at QB, and it'll come in and the pass, Metman drops back to throw the ball, he makes a 20-yard completion, and then a player card will pop up and say Metman, 1 rush for -2 yards, 1 pass for 15 yards. So it'll actually keep track of your user ID, and whenever a command comes in from that user ID, it'll pop it up on the screen and show you what stats from the last time you injected your name. So I think it'll be kind of fun to have that interaction on the web UI stuff. So kind of let my chatters fiddle with my game while it's running. They can inject their name into the game as it's being played. And I have a lot more than just that. I have a plan for like at least 10 different commands or 10 different things I'll be able to do. Not a lot, because I don't want it to be overwhelming. I just want it to be a cool little thing chatters can inject into. Because one of these days I'll have more than 150 followers. Duh. I mean, it's going up actually quite a bit lately. I've been getting 10 to 15 a month lately, so it's not bad. But now, oh, by the way, if you like the coding aspect of what I'm doing and you want to follow, awesome. But on YouTube, I'm moving to a new channel tomorrow for all my development work, and that's going to be, it's on my description underneath my video, also earlier up in my chat, but it's Active Mind Games Dev, at Active Mind Games Dev, and so if you want to follow, or if you like this work that I'm doing, and you want to check it out in the future, follow that channel, because I'm not going to be starting tomorrow after 10 o'clock. I'm not going to be doing it on. Right. So I'm hoping to get my web UI at least online fairly soon, so people can start fiddling with that. The mobile app's going to be a while, obviously. I got to get the back end fully functional. And yeah, I'm going to try to, come up with something to get people on there to test, Maybe it'll be a Patreon thing or Indiegogo thing, or anybody who backs me in any way are going to get access to all the early stuff, and probably even a lot of my subscribers, because I just want testers. My goal is to just build a community, right? But at the same time, I'm also trying to, be able to do this. The link for the new YouTube channel, you can just do a search for it. If you do a search for new YouTube channel name. If you just do a search for that, you should be able to find it, and it'll pop up. But right now, I'm just letting people know, because I just started announcing it. It doesn't have anything on it yet, but tomorrow stuff's going to start moving over there. So yeah, and right now too, I'm running an Indiegogo campaign, and I'm letting people know, hey, go check out this channel. So they're all going to be able to start going to this channel too and start following it and getting and seeing this stuff. I say them all. I don't think I have a single backer yet, but if I get any, they'll be coming over there to check progress. And I'm really just trying to build community. So yes, I'm hoping eventually I'll be able to make enough on that to fund my full-time development of this. But for now, I'm hoping I can just get some people interested to come and watch, and if they see enough progress being made, that might motivate them in future campaigns, because I'm going to be doing new campaigns like every few months to try and get, or even probably every month, starting 30 days after each one. So I'll run one, run another, and just try to build up funds for the next time. So that's the goal. I also have Patreon and all that other stuff. So, and I'm not necessarily expecting anybody, I'm not telling you to go back me. I'm just saying if you're inclined to. But at the same time, I just want to build up that community, that following, to get enough people interested that maybe I'll, be able to do this full time. So we'll see. If nothing else, maybe I reach 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, and I can start getting, ad revenue of some kind from, because you have to have 1,000 subscribers to be a, whatever they call it, affiliate on YouTube. I don't know. I don't even know what it's called. I know on Twitch, I think it's called affiliate, and you need to have an average of 3 viewers per stream for 30 days. Right now I'm like 2.5. So obviously more people on Twitch that are watching me, the more chance that one hits its affiliate points. So that's a lot of what I'm trying to do, is just try to build that community so that I can, start getting some kind of resources so that I don't have to worry about not being employed anymore. That's the goal. Anyway, so let's get back to it. I've got about another 30 minutes for tonight's stream. Maybe 40 minutes. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I'm still trying to solve this, though. All right, so I'm trying to use gRPC as my gateway message handler, and it seems to be thinking I'm going to go ahead and fix this so it stops complaining about it. Let's go ahead and change this to an F. And then we're going to change this to a % so it stops whining. Awesome, dude. Let's see here. PB favorite place. So we got this thing. It doesn't like. So I fixed that. Create game plan. So am I still running a create game plan versus a get game plan? Do I have a mix of stuff going on? Create game plan. I do not. So what is it talking about? Why the suggestion to change to create game plan versus my current get game plan? So I don't have a create game plan, so why are you suggesting that? Type of request your current get game plan method is designed to handle versus what your curl command is sending. Let me clarify. Your current setup get game plan. The get game plan method is structured to accept a game plan which contains only a user ID field. Return a game plan object that includes the game situations and other fields. This method is intended for retrieving game plans, and its input expects just a simple JSON payload like blah. But your curl command, you are sending a full game plan payload. This is not compatible with get game plan method because the structure of, okay, that makes sense. So it's actually telling me I need to create a game plan. All right. So what I should do, in other words, is call So basically what it's saying is I'm using the wrong call and I don't have a method for actually posting. Okay. So just for testing purposes, how would I call the get game plan? Pretty sure then it's just going to be an ID. It's going to be a simple game plan, blah, 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 ID. It's probably just, that's probably where I'm breaking down here. Oh, that's mail. What am I opening mail for? I'm trying to open, where'd my OneNote go? There it is, it's way over there. Okay, so I need to have, this is for create game plan. Curl command. So I need, so what I'm basically going to have is a get game plan. So this should be, I don't know, a post, and then get game plan would be just a get game plan would be a get. C URL command for testing. Here's how to test the game plan method using curl. Alright. What if I do that then? I see that. So why is it trying to... Oh. That is my actual. Is it not? Whoa. Eight users, 1, 2, 3 game plan. With your actual server address and endpoint. That is my actual server address and endpoint. It's 8080. API user 1, 2, 3 game plan. HTTP 8080 API users 1, 2, 3 game plan. All right, let us clear this. Oops. I hate that oh man. Dang it. Yeah, I feel that way too. But you know what? It's okay to cheat. I mean, really, if you're saving time, I mean, fact is, I'm cheating because I'm still learning this code. I have, prior to 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago, I didn't even know what Go was. I was just looking around doing research on what would be the most commonly used back-end language for developing mobile apps. And Go came up a ton as one of the most popular back-end mobile app languages. And I'm like, okay, so probably don't want to use C# like I was going to do. And I said, well, let's try to do, because these are popular for a reason. They're languages that are supposedly easy to use. They're efficient. They're fast. They've got the they're a reason for the following. So I said, all right, let's use Go. So now I'm learning Go. So of course I have to use ChatGPT and documentation and whatever else. But the goal is to get the app done and hopefully learn while I'm doing it. I'm hoping, in 3-6 months of heavy duty, always working in this, I'm going to start getting kind of fluid with a lot of the commands and things I'm doing. Because I'm going to start picking up all this. I've only been working on it for a little time. Same goes with React. Up until 8 months ago, I had not touched React. I'd never worked on it at all. And I feel like I'm getting a pretty good flow of how React works and all of its idiosyncrasies. Granted, I haven't done a ton of really advanced stuff, but I'm starting to get a better feel. I've done authentication with it. I've worked with middleware. I've been doing some pretty complex rendering with like my app here, which is I'm starting to understand where all the problems with asynchronous rendering is. But I'm getting there. I'm starting to understand how it works. And I had to do some weird stuff to make this rendering work, where it's constantly updating and allowing things to update where they're supposed to and stay in line with my plays. But, I'm picking it up. And so, ChatGPT makes a lot. And plus, I got to admit, there's times when there's a piece of code I know I can write. But I have to think it through and figure out, the best way to write it when I'm like, do I want to waste 20 minutes doing that? Or just ask ChatGPT, look, I just want to do this. What's the best way to do it? And ChatGPT will write out a little piece of code for you. You go in there, you validate it, make sure it works. And, you saved 20 minutes. It took you 5 minutes to put it in. I mean, I always tell people who want to use ChatGPT, who haven't used it a lot, don't take everything ChatGPT or any other language tells you. I've used Claude and Blackbox and whatever. I've tried NF Copilot, which is a little different from ChatGPT, but they're based on the same engine. Don't take their word for it. When you do a lot of code, like you have a big slab of code and you're saying, hey, this has got a problem, and it says, here, do this to fix it, and it rewrites the code for you. Make sure, go line by line and check what it's changing before you take it. In fact, my suggestion is just find the things that are relevant to your question and put those in. Because it'll refactor stuff, it'll tweak stuff, it thinks it knows better than you, and I have seen it break my code in just the few months that I've been using it, a dozen times at least, multiple times. And I've learned, check every line, see what it's changing, make sure it makes sense to you. So I almost would tell new developers who don't ever develop in anything, don't have a history of understanding what code is trying to do, because I don't know Go and I don't know React, so a lot of the things for me might be some syntactical things that I just take ChatGPT or whatever word for it. But I also understand coding logic and how things should flow and what I'm trying to accomplish, and I've seen it break my code on multiple occasions. And so now I no longer believe that ChatGPT truly knows everything it does, thinks it does. For example, today, I asked it to tell me how I could implement the best way to implement a parameter into an imperative function call to a child component in React. And it said, oh yeah, this will be easy, just do this. And it had me write like multiple lines of code at the top and pass a new parameter to the overall function. And I'm like, can't I just change the imperative parameter from true to false to the value I want to set it to? And it goes, oh yeah, great idea, just do this. And it was like 3 lines of code. And I'm like, okay, that's what I thought. You made this way more complicated than it needed to be. So yeah, I mean, if you understand coding, you can work with the AIs. Just don't take everything it says for the best way or even the correct way all the time. Kind of make sure you understand what it's telling you before you just go, okay, and then just replace, because you'll find yourself undoing code all the time if you do that. So there's my warning. And I say that to everybody who comes along and goes, so what do you think of ChatGPT? I'm saying, well, it's great, but take it with a grain of salt. A lot of grains of salt. Like, consistently consume your salt. Anyway. All right, so we do have that. So if get game plan is returning a game plan, and we are not actually saving anything, wouldn't it be a get call instead of a post call? Aha! See? That's what I'm talking about. It's like a lot of the suggestions here were, you know, how to update this post call, and I'm like, but all I'm doing is returning my game plan. Why am I doing a post call? Because post calls to the database are typically meant to change the state, write something, do something. But if all I'm doing is returning, and in this case I'm just returning a fixed, you know, dummy piece of data, should it even be a post? I mean, I'm trying to get one functionality to work, but I need it to function correctly. And then I can start working with the post. Ultimately, it's going to come down to, I want to make what I have work before I implement what I don't have. And it's suggesting that I create game plan that's going to actually do posting. But what I have is a get game plan, which is going to do a retrieval, and a retrieval doesn't change anything. So what I should do is make sure that that's going to be correct. So my get game plan, which somehow is doing a post, a get instead of a post. Where's it doing this nonsense at? Post, error, toml. This must be this one. Aha, method, handler, register routes, handler, game plan. This is actually a get. Update the server log, optional. Testing changes. Option, Google API, get. I think this is what it's talking about. Yeah, user ID game plan. But I'm doing a handle func instead of a get. I mean, I guess theoretically, could you do a get and a post and have it set up for both? Like if what if I just called it game plan and then had a post method and a get method? Get it to retrieve, post it to save. It's probably not the best. Just curious. It may just curious. It may not be the best. So the best. What do I call it? Standard. But can it? But is it possible to change the name to game plan? No get or create, and assign both a post and a get method to it. To the same endpoint and differentiate their behavior in terms of clarity and adherence to standard. Here's how you get it, how you can set it up a proto file and handle it in your gRPC gateway. Modify the .proto file. Huh. See, I'm leaning towards this. I actually like the idea of just having a single object that we either get or we post. But we still have a get game plan and we still have a create game plan handler. But create or update game plan. See, this is perfect. So if I were to go down here, what do I have in my gateway handler right now? Or not gateway, but game plan handler. I probably just need to fix stuff. I think I just have things out of... All right, here's the deal. Part of what threw me, what probably screwing me up, is I was following a Twitch YouTube guy. Really smart, but he cruised through everything. But I also didn't want to create a dummy application. He was creating a dummy application, you know, one that's just meant for learning purposes. And I said, well, I don't want to do that. I don't want to waste time on a dummy application. So I said, I mapped out my game, or I mapped out a lot of the components I need for my game. And I'm like, let's create the microservices that are going to be relevant to my game. So I says, let's start with the first one I want to start initializing. Well, one of the first two are game plan and the simulator. But simulator is going to be a little bit more complex, I think, in what it's doing. Maybe. It might, maybe not. But ultimately, I just said, let's do game plan first. Because it's like the next step, since I already have kind of a simulator here. I want to be able to feed back and start pulling the game plan and start setting up the game plan so that I can create a coaching object which can start making calls and doing stuff as in situations. Because I feel like implementing the coach part is going to be easier than implementing the player part. But the player part is the most important piece, right? That's going to be the whole... One of the big selling points is that I'm using players with actual NFL stats. Now, I've done a lot of the formulas that'll create the balance between players, but I haven't had to do the logic that's going to have the players interacting in a digital capacity. So... Man, Chargers. So, you know, Denver plays the Chargers this Thursday. And so I'm running simulations against the Chargers just because it's fun. And Denver keeps losing. But, hey, if it's any indicator, maybe I just have the names on the wrong side. Because Denver was losing a bunch to the Colts when I was doing this last week. And Denver beat the Colts. So maybe it's a good thing that they're losing on my fake, irrelevant, unconnected in any way simulator for the sake of, what do you call it? Good luck mojo. As you may have guessed, I'm actually a Broncos fan. You can probably see that in the fact that my background screen says Denver Broncos on it. Though you can't really see it, you kind of can. And sometimes when my screen just goes down, you can see the logo behind it. And I'm often wearing Bronco stuff, but I'm not right now. Oh, actually, I am. Look. In fact, it is getting hot in here. But the Broncos ruled. Oh, no, that's the wrong one. It just says Denver Broncos. I thought I was wearing my Broncos Rule the West t-shirt. So I don't even. I have so many shirts. I don't even know what I'm wearing half the time. And you're like, why is he showing me this? Look, man, I'm derailing myself. I do this. This is my thing. I get derailed. As long as you can get back to your task at some point. All right, so update your. And this is probably why I spend a lot of time on stuff, and then it takes me, an extra 6 hours to finish certain tasks because I talk too much. This is also why I don't stream everything I'm doing, because I can really get focused sometimes. And a lot of times I just say, okay, this just needs to get done. And then I just don't stream till I get it fixed. And then I go on to the next thing. I'll stream that. All right, so let's see. We got return game plan. So that's get game plan. So we're going to go to get game plan, which is doing that. So we got the ID, we got the user, we got oh, is that what I'm doing? I just realized this dummy app doesn't have game situation in it because it's called game situation. Why the heck is it? Oh. Wait. No? Yes. No. What am I doing? Something feels wrong here. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, we're okay. But it's... Oh. That's part of what my problem is, I think. I'm supposed to be returning a game plan, and I'm returning a game situation, which is not correct. Because a game plan is a set of game situations. It's a full set of game situations. And you know what? That might have just called out the primary problem I was having. But return a dummy game plan or retrieve from a database. Yeah, I will retrieve from a database eventually. But gRPC handle, get game plan, context, log print, require user ID, retrieving game plan for user ID, blah, request, dot user ID. You know, so it's just doing PB game plan error. I'm just making sure this is the item I'm replacing. That's the goal here. So it's got like the game plan, which is GP, and the game situation, and then we're returning GP at the bottom. But now we're just returning, oh, I see what's happening. So we're, okay, so I have the situation getting populated from pb.gameSituation, which is one of the things I was complaining about. But all it does is return it. It's like it's not even setting it. So I'm setting it to these variables, which sets this guy into this guy, which sets it back to this guy, which is technically fine, but I'm not sure which is more readable. I do think I like the idea of using the GP. But if I was going to do it this way, or I mean this way, I probably should have broke out favorite plays too. Put the favorite plays inside. But I think at one point I was calling these game situations, and I think ultimately this should have been changed to game plan. I think that's what broke everything. My last question kind of clarified some stuff. So I don't need the nil. I think what I need is to take this piece, copy that, and put that here. And we can get rid of this. And then we can go, we can return a GP. And then I'll take this and we will just pop that in there. We can probably get rid of all this stuff. Okay, so that might be a little better, although I have to do I want to call this payload still? No. I think request is fine. All right, so now everything there is compile-y. Got it. Night, night, man. Take it easy. You have a good one. Have a good evening. All right, so we've got that. Now we have to do a create or update. For simplicity, echo back the input payload. Creating, updating game plan. For simplicity, echo back the input payload. So it's going to send me this, and we will log back what it set. And we will just stick that down here underneath. There. So I'm going to have to create, update game plan. Okay. So that takes care of that. Then you can define your gRPC, modify the proto file. So we're going to go to the proto file. And we're going to have RPC get game plan request. Oh, so this is get game plan. And we're going to have, oh, that's not, whoa, 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 whoa. You can define gRPC methods for get and post, but map both to the same endpoint, differing by HTTP endpoint. Okay. So I don't even have a get game plan. What the heck? I'm confused. All right. Let's do this. This is my current proto file. .proto file. Oh, okay. Wait a minute. Do I have to have... Do I put both RPC sections in the game plan service? How will this look when complete? When updated. Okay, so yeah, we're adding both those RPCs to the game plan service. And then we have our game plan, which stays the same. We have our game situation staying the same. We have our favorite play staying the same. And we have our get game plan request staying the same. So all I need to do is add this to this. really don't like my my indentations. My indentations need to be changed. I think 4 is too much. Sorry. 4 is just a crazy amount of indentation. So says me. What do I know? Okay. So that didn't work. Sure, your proto definition file imports the proto, which defines the option. Oh. Getting unknown for google.api.http. Add the Google APIs. You need to include the Google APIs package in your project, specifically the Google API annotations.proto. The file contains... What is the deal with this annotations.proto? I mean, everything wants to do annotations. How would I update this not to use... Hey, Nintendo, how you doing? Man, you show up right before I log off, man. I'm gonna be logging off in like 5 or 10 minutes here. Hey, but don't forget, I'm switching channels tomorrow. I was supposed to do it today, but apparently you have to wait a day when you start streaming to a new channel. So, because you have to validate your number and then you have to wait a day. So tomorrow, yeah, I mean, you know, I'll be back tomorrow, but I'm going to be on my new channel tomorrow, starting at 10. So keep that in mind. No, don't worry. You don't have to apologize, man. Just saying, you're timing with today. Because I'm separating my development efforts into a different channel, just because they're really not that cohesive with all of my gaming stuff. You know, when I'm doing game related stuff, leisure activity stuff. I was saying entertaining or fun stuff, but that's not the case, because development, this is fun to me because I'm developing a game I really want to develop, and it's fun. That's why I'm doing so much of it, and that's why I want to do it full time. But the there's a lot of good coders out there. Some of them are probably, in fact, a lot of them are probably better than me. But I don't know that very many are actually developing anything. Certainly not anything they're putting on a stream. And there's probably some reason for that. You know, I don't want to get my stuff stolen. I don't put everything out anyway. All of my proprietary logic behind my functions and formulas on my different features is not online, is not going to be streamed. But all of my just trying to make things work bits, even that's not all streamed. Because a lot of times I'll work on something, stream it for a while, but if I'm taking a while, I'll take half a day and just get it working, where I'm not distracted by the stream. And then when the next thing starts, because I don't want to be streaming, I'm working on the same thing forever. I want to be able to say, okay, well, let's make some progress here, move on to the next iteration of stuff. Then I will, stream that. So it could be time in, time out. So a lot of times the final product doesn't even end up streamed. the final piece. I might show it or explain what I did to get it fixed or working, but I don't want to have the same, me hacking away at stuff like this. For example, I think I need to take a day or half a day and just get things working and stop fiddle-faddling my way through this. And the other reason why I'm switching channels is because I want to have a central point for my Indiegogo campaigns that I started today. I launched this morning, and I'm telling everybody to go to that channel starting tomorrow. So I don't want to have it cluttered by stuff that's not related to the project. So this way people can come there, they can see what I'm doing, ask questions. If I get any backers, one day in I've got 0. So, usually with those kind of campaigns, you want to kind of hit your limit in the first day, 2 days, especially when I'm only doing a $500 limit. So, I'm probably going to get, less than a handful. But the idea is to kind of start the ball rolling and building up community, getting some interest, getting a few people to maybe come over and check things out. And then when I launch the next campaign in 30 days or so, maybe they'll be interested in backing then, or maybe the next one or the next one. But hopefully eventually I'll build up enough momentum and they'll see progress happening to where they're like, hey, something is actually getting developed here. Maybe it's worth backing. Because at this stage, nobody's, they don't believe, they don't know me from Adam. They don't know if I'm going to make progress. They don't know if this is just me flash in the pan nonsense. Yes, I've been working on it solid for a month, and I've got a pretty nice little prototype, but there's no guts to it yet. So as I'm developing the guts, which is I'm doing right now, slowly getting things interactive and start adding the new pages and the new features, and then start switching over to start having the Unity stuff being built on my mobile, that stuff's all going to start going, hey, this is taking shape. And hopefully by then I will have built up more following, and then maybe I'll get more and more of them to start backing. Assuming, of course, I don't get a full-time job and development goes down to, a few hours a week. Because obviously there won't be a lot of progress if I'm only working on it a few hours a week. I can't see me stopping even if I do get a job, but, full-time job's going to take 8 hours out of my day. So I'm not going to have... I'm just hoping maybe I run into that guy who has money burning a hole. I told you that yesterday. I hope he'll, sometime along the way, he goes, dude, get this thing done. Here, whack, this is what you need. Okay. And then full time I go, man. 8 hours a day plus. I'll love to do that, man. I'd love to be working on this all day long and then just know that I don't have to worry about life's financial situations. But yeah. Otherwise, let's just get some following going. Let's get people to know about it and come and chat and talk and describe it. Maybe if people want to throw in their 2 cents with their expert skills when I'm banging my head on the wall, they can go, you could just do this. Like, oh yeah, ooh, wow, you're my hero. I like heroes. All right, so let's go rerun my game plan and my gateway now that and my proto. So I gotta go control C. Oh, that one's already killed. I didn't even know that one was killed. Probably because I changed stuff. Jeez, what's going on here? Time to, oops, nope, don't want to do that. Did I do that? I did. Boo, boo me. Didn't want to kill it. Boo. All right, well, gotta open another one. This is my curl. PFFM. Common. PFFM curl. Oh, here's game plan. All right, so there's my game plan. I've got my common, which is my common, which I have to do make thing there. Make gen. Oh, make. Oh wait, what did I do wrong here? Oh yeah. How would I do this? Not using Google API. I don't know. Why am I afraid of the Google API? Because I'm not afraid of it. But none of the professionals, all of these YouTube guys I was following, none of them told me to use the Google API. This Google API thing. It's like, well, if they're not telling me to do it, why is ChatGPT telling me to do it? Because it's owned by Google? No, it's not owned by Google. That's actually partially, it's more owned by Microsoft. But I don't know. It's like I feel like I'd rather go with the professionals' opinions than ChatGPT's opinions on what APIs to use or what imports to use. So I'm a little apprehensive. I don't know. I probably shouldn't be worried about it, but yeah, see, that's exactly what I wanted. That's all. That's it. See how clean that is? No nonsense, but without. Yeah, and I'm using a MUX router. Yep, I have the gRPC gateway package. And yes, I have the handlers set up. So yeah, it's like, you need to do all this. It's like, yeah, that's what I had. That's what I want to do. And I am using gRPC, which I think it should have known that. I feel like it should have known that because I've already done that. But all right, so that's good. I don't know why it's still saying that. Probably just hasn't updated yet. All right, there it goes. All right, so now I can try the make gen on that. Hopefully that works. I have a few extra minutes because I can tell. My wife is currently doing something else, so I don't need to go upstairs yet. So I'll go up when she calls. So I'm eking out a few more minutes phase of my night here. I have lately. Okay, so my daughter told me about another mobile app football game that I should check out because her boyfriend plays it. And she knows I was also doing mobile app testing for football games. And I said, yeah, I saw that game. I just hadn't tried it because I wasn't sure if I would like a 8-bit game. It was an 8-bit football game. And it's called Retro Pro Football. They also have a Retro Football College or something like that. And it kind of has that feeling of the old 90s 8-bit video games. But it's kind of cool. Doesn't have a ton of microtransactions. It does have like one, I think, where you can buy like an upgrade, and it's not very much. It's like a couple of bucks. But so I started playing with it, and I was like, oh, this does some stuff, like a subset of, hey, look at that, Denver won 25-6. Like, does a subset of the stuff I want my game to do, with also adding in some play control. And again, I've been hesitating lately and saying I'm not going to have play control in my game. Partly because I don't know if I can do play control. And I certainly don't know that I can do it to the extent that... I know I can't do it to the extent that Madden or NFL 2K, where you have these really nice looking player models that are interacting and clashing, and they just look good when they're doing their stuff. I know as an individual, that work is not an individual effort. That's like a team of developers with graphic skills up the wazoo, and they do modeling and they do all this other stuff. To make that happen, that's really complex programming. But also, I don't know that I want to do 8-bit either. I was thinking like a small animated version, like maybe something that's lower grade, but yet doesn't require the complex modeling of the higher end. But also, do I want to get into the minutia of dealing with how to control and play guys? That's really not what I was intending. I really want to be able to give you as much control as is humanly possible over what's happening on the field without having to do the control stuff. I don't know. I just feel like that is what I'm going for in my game. And yes, I want to have players on the field. Yes, I want to have stuff going on, but I don't want you to have to be controlling it. And don't get me wrong, I like this Retro Pro Football. I kind of like the way it's working, and I'm learning how to use the stuff, and I can kind of tell that certain players actually matter with their skills. Their skills are totally built different. It's not using real stats. It's a progression thing, and it lets you do some things versus others. But I do like some of what it's doing. It's kind of like a really simplified version of what I want to do, which I'm hoping mine isn't going to be too complex, but at the same time I want it to be, it's going to be less complex than the minutia of action PC football, but way more complex than, say, a Madden backend. Madden's backend, I'm not talking about their graphics, but what they let you do. It's going to allow you to do way more than Madden, or even a lot of these other football games are doing. It's going to let you do stuff that I haven't seen done since Front Page Sports Football back in the 90s, which to me was like the best. It was probably 8-bit back then, maybe 16-bit, but it was like the best version of football, short of the graphics, I think has ever been made. But they'd lost their license and they stopped making the game, and the company turned into Dynamics and went out of business and blah, 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 blah. But Madden got the license and basically kicked everybody out of the NFL realm, and now everybody just makes pro football games, and nobody's actually spent the time or money to make one that can convince the NFL, I guess, to fire Madden. I don't know. No, plus, I don't think anybody wants to pay for that license. You know how expensive the NFL license is, a full-on NFL development license for games? We're talking hundreds of millions of dollars. Madden paid for 5-year license, $1.5 billion for the exclusive rights to create pro football, NFL licensed football. $1.5 billion with an option for one other year or something. And they've been doing this for 20 years. They've had the license since the early 2000s. And people complain and they keep saying take it away from them because they're not making a great game and nobody wants to create competitive games. There's a few people out there trying, but so far nobody's done what they call a Madden killer that can maybe steal the license. And again, does anybody want to pay that kind of money for a license? It's just stupid. The NFL's like, if these guys are going to keep dishing it out, we're going to keep letting them. And they're paying for, half the players in the league. So, really, 1.5 billion. How much are you? That pays for a lot of players' salaries. Now, granted, that's 5 years, and so it's probably not paying for that many, but it's paying for a lot of them. Okay, so I have that. I've done the make gen, so I should have my new file structure. Now I should be able to go and create. First, ensure you have the gRPC gateway. Yes, I have all that. Then in your gRPC handler.go, it's this one. Import. So I got my imports. All right. This is my gRPC gateway. This is my gRPC handler.go file. Maybe I can do this here. Let's see. Handle the HTTP request for create update. So I have to have my handler. Oh, maybe that's in main.go. Okay, so nope. When you say gRPC handler, gRPC handler, do you mean the gateway handler or the game plan? The gateway service handler or the game plan service handler? That's one of the problems when they say update this gRPC handler. I say, well, I have them in every service. It's probably this gRPC handler. Yeah, that's probably the one, because I already gave it this file, so it's probably telling me how to update it. So we got new gRPC handler at gRPC, register game plan service server. Handler, and then it says reflection.register gRPC server optional to enable reflection for debugging. What is reflection? What is reflection? What does it do? gRPC handler service server, unimplement game plan service server. Okay, so we got that, we got that. We have our function, which is get game plan. So my get game plan is still trying to make me download Google crap. Well, I do have Google Golang org gRPC, but it's also trying to do Google Golang org gRPC. Oh, that's reflection. Oh, okay. Well, that's not so bad. And now I also have my common API, which is PB, which Tazion PFFM common API. Well, that's fine. That's exactly the same one, but I'm using PB as an identifier. And it's got net HTTP, which I'm not actually using. I think the problem is it's doing two parts. It's combining my main with my gRPC, which I'm trying to avoid. See, there's my main. Main is a whole nother animal. Let's see what it says about my, let's see. Okay, so let's see what it says. Reflection in the context of gRPC refers to the ability of a service to expose metadata about itself, allowing clients or other services to inspect the available methods, types, and structure of the service at runtime. In gRPC, reflection is a feature that allows clients and tools to discover the available services, methods, messages, server, even without having the original .proto files. Oh. When enabled, reflection provides a runtime interface that clients or tools can query to discover following: available services, method details, message types. Key benefits, dynamic design. I kind of like that. Maybe I will implement that. Maybe I will do that. That is a good idea, sir. I will give it a go. So we have this. So that means I have to add this import. And then we will add this statement to this guy. Okay. So I'm a little bit confused of what it's doing here. Oh, I see. Oh, is that how that works? All right, so that's a learning thing right there. So if you don't give this an alias, this is what you're replacing. This is the endpoint. It's the endpoint of your script, but you're giving it an alias, so that replaces the endpoint. So in a lot of cases, this guy's using PB. I don't know what that stands for. But if I wanted to, I can call it, I don't know, API. Or why would I do that? I could just use API. But I could call it something. That's probably my proto something. It's probably proto base or proto backend or whatever. Probably stands for that. And that's why he's using PB. And that's why all of my code here is PB, even though it's coming back as something else. So I could probably leave that. So I've got rec PB, which is what he put in, gRPC handler. I don't know that I need to change that. I mean, he put a dummy thing here, which I'm just going to go with what I have. Should be fine. Retrieving game plan for user ID, which that is not my thing. And then we're going to go down here. We're going to go creator update, which is this. And then he does a main. I guess he's a he. My ChatGPT friend. Final score, 18-14. Boo! 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 Look at my text. Run is hit. Should have been runner, or running back, or RB, or something. It's all right. That's all throwaway. It's going to be changed. I'm going to build a complex language system. I say complex because it's going to build parts based on who gets the ball, what kind of play it is, and then what events happen on the field. So it's going to say something like running back takes the pitch or takes the handoff, depending on what it is, scrambles to the right or up the middle based on what direction he's going. sidesteps or drops his shoulder or stiff arms based on the events that are allowed in the play and what happens, and gets taken down at the 18 or gets taken down after 10-yard gain or something like that. And maybe even I want to start putting in endpoint stuff. He takes to the 20, the 30, or the 50, the 40, the 30, just keep adding on little bits while he's running down the field. Stuff like that to kind of, have events going on while the play is occurring. Now, granted, I have to have that stuff kind of be timed with how stuff moves on the field. And if you're racing the clock, you're doing a simulation, what I would probably do is if somebody does a simulation that's faster than normal game time, is I'd cut out a lot of that stuff, or I would only run highlight plays. Have the simulation go and then run, so-and-so, such a team has the ball on the 20-yard line after 3, have some kind of logic in there to deal with just highlights or, big plays or whatever, which would be highlights, I guess. But what game was it? Front page head coach. Football head coach 25. There's actually several versions, but the 25 version. It has 3 types of simulations. It has full simulation, score simulation, and highlight simulation, which highlights can get big plays, big runs, big things going on. But scores is just scoring, whatever. Sometimes it's 1 or 2 plays going into the score, but it's typically, I usually do scores because that game doesn't have a lot going on during the game. I used to watch the whole thing and then I realized what I'm doing really doesn't make a big difference, I'm noticing. So just do scores. So let me see what's going on. You don't feel invested in the rest of the plays because you have no real effect on it. It's kind of just random. And that's what I want. I want people to feel invested in everything that's going on. What I'm going to have is on the mobile app, maybe on the React app. I don't know what I can do on the React app, but I want to show the user the play selected. I want it to pop up and go, these are the plays that were optioned, and then the coach picks X play, and you can kind of watch and see if maybe a play's getting called too often, or maybe you just want to see if that play works, and you start getting a feel for. So you can gain something from watching every play. So there's actually feedback going that you can see, and you go, okay, oh no, hey, he picked a bomb. I don't want him throwing bombs at this point of the game. Oh, I got to go fix my game plan. Something like that. Maybe you take certain things out of your game situation so you can't call that, or maybe if he calls it once in a while, sure, but if it's calling it like every 5 plays, you're like, okay, that's got to get fixed. So you can change your game plan to tweak what's happening. And in my game, the plays are going to have their own stats. Average gain on this play, average, success versus failure. Failure is a play that does nothing, gains no yards at all, or loses yards. Whereas success is positive yards. And so that's like a generic, what is this play doing kind of thing. But if you want more detail, you can go, well, this one's averaging this many yards. It's, maybe it fails a lot, but it's still averaging 5 yards a play. So it gets a lot of good yards, but decently fails. So it's kind of a high risk play because it comes with potential failures, but does well when it succeeds. So you're like, we'll leave that one in there, but only use it when I'm desperate. It's like you have to take those high risk plays when you're losing, right? Those plays that get lots of yards, but they might not work all the time. So you take your shots. My game's gonna have so many cool things, man. I gotta, every now and then I want to stop. One of the things I got to start doing almost weekly is reviewing features completed, features in progress, and the what I call it, the development playbook or the development plan. So it tells you what we're going to do, what features are coming, and kind of what ones I want to get in during this month. So there's the nearby development plan, kind of midterm, next on the list kind of thing, and then long term, which are just going to be fluctuating all the time because I'll work on those as I get closer. And as you check stuff off the list, those things will probably even keep coming back to, because it's not just about refactoring, but sometimes you find bugs, or this thing's not working because now this is in there, and you got to keep tweaking stuff. But there's an always ongoing progress check, and that's what I want to do. So I guess I lied. I didn't log off after 5 minutes. 10 minutes, whatever it was. So I'm getting close to testing this again, but it did put this main in. So I'm on the main. Let's go see how this changed my main. Okay, so we got GRP new server. We got new GRP handler. We got listen TCP. Register game plan service handler service. My app is separating the main into main from the gRPC handler into a main.go file. Mux handle function. What would be the most direct way of updating this to support what the above suggested code is doing? See, I'm looking at this going, these are not the same. I mean, they're not close enough. Like, I don't have a mux.handle func. I don't even know how these are the same. I have the new server. The only thing that's same is the gRPC server. But then this uses like mux new router. Yeah, this is totally different. This totally is not. This is totally not the same. So I'm a little concerned. In fact, it almost looks like it's different. Like, perhaps the significant changes mean the main should be main.go in my QA service. That one looks more similar to the main shown here. So, Metman, when he was out here earlier, he was telling me that he felt like he was cheating when he used ChatGPT. And I told him, you don't need to feel like you're cheating with ChatGPT, because I'll tell you what, ChatGPT, you got to take what it says as suggestions. Don't take it as answers. Yes, sometimes it's answers, but in fact, a lot of times it's pretty dang close to answers, or it's giving you answers, but they may not be the best answer. They may not be a good answer. They may not even be the correct answer. You've got to learn to digest. No. What's the word? You gotta learn to disseminate the correct, what's correct from what's not. So you've got to have enough skill in programming to some extent to understand that what it's giving you might not be the best solution. So always ask questions and move on to the next thing, before you commit to it. Anyway, I still have all this, but I do need to stop now. I need to take a break. So I'll probably be back. I know you'll probably be in bed already. I know you have to get to bed and go do, you work tomorrow. I do got to get up early myself, but I still get another hour or so usually in the evenings. So I'll probably be back in an hour and a half, and do another hour or so. I've been staying up too late, but I probably will still do it, because I really want to get this working. And I may or may not stream at that point, but if you see me, you see me. I gotta get this working, so I may have to